So, for my mod pack, Minescary, I am going into the structures that I have in the world, making some changes, adding NPCs to some, small changes to others, and this is one that I've made some changes to. But I have also decided to make it an underground structure instead of it being above ground, because it has a cool inside, but I'm not a big fan of how it looks on the surface. So, I've already gotten so far. This is the build tool from Structure Gel API Mod. And this is a really handy thing, kind of complex a little bit, but once you figure it out, it is super handy. I only really use a couple things, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I did. I went to the replace, which has a radius that I didn't even mess with. You come here, it's set to air. You really don't want it set to air at all. The air you replace with this gel. Anything you want to be air, you replace with the gel, and I only really use 2 of the gels. But the structure void basically tells Minecraft, hey, I don't plan on having anything here, you can generate whatever you want. So with underground structures, anything like that, you really want a structure void. Now, that's this middle thing here. Now replace just means, as you can see, you left click on any block and you replace all kind of that radius. That's where you see even out here. If I just left click on this, boom, replaces all that with this structure void. And that's really handy. But something I've learned is that you really don't want, if you have a structure go down at all, you want it to come straight down. But since this is underground, I'm going to be lazy about it. Even though the structure void deal makes it a little hard. Probably going to edit this part out because I did not realize this was an issue, but at least it was good to have in here. Because I had a building with a small basement that I made personally for the, it's only in my mod pack, exclusive content. And that has a small basement on it. And that was such a pain, because it just sort of generated a dip in the land to where my structure was still technically on ground level, but it just looked like the land just so happened to dip down and reveal my basement. Alright, so I created an issue for myself where I wish I shouldn't have, but I accidentally flooded that whole place with structure voids, and in an attempt flooded the entire outside with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to replace. I overcomplicated everything, so we're going to undercomplicate it. We're going to re-undercomplicate it. I'm going to go to air. Just going to replace all that with air. Over here, replace all that with air. Okay, this too. No, never mind. That doesn't need change. Anyway, so now that we've replaced it with air, should be able to come in here. Don't mind any of what's in here. It's a secret that will help us out later. Alright, so the blue gel floods the entire insides of things, where the red gel floods the entire outsides of things. Now, here's the thing. I only want red gel, or any gel, from where ground is up. That way, air fills it. If you leave it blank, it's like Minecraft can't decide whether to make it air or whether to make it void. It always works out to the opposite. If you have an underground dungeon and you leave no voids, no air, like gel, it wants to make giant holes in the ground. You have a structure on the surface, you have no, not really structure voids, but you have no gel. Now all of a sudden your whole house is covered up. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go to fill. Over here, very bottom left, replace air. That's going to help us out. Instead of this, structure void. Alright, so now we're only replacing any of the air blocks with the structure voids. So what I'm going to want to do is get a nice radius, because this is going to make a block. I'm just going to come out here. That's a little too high. I'm right clicking where the cursor is at, and there's a way I didn't bind it. Wait a minute. Maybe I just need to go down. Yeah. So basically I want everything there and up to be on the surface and exposed and able to be seen. So since that is over here, as you can see, spot 1, spot 2 makes the cube. Right click normally to do one, crouch right click for the other. Just making sure I get a healthy distance. So we're going to go here, and honestly it doesn't even matter. Boom. Alright, so that way, that entire block is about to get filled with structure voids. So hopefully that tells Minecraft everything below here you can fill with land. Now, once you have your things, you just left click. Oh, what the hell? Okay. You seem to have a problem again. So, now I gotta make my save structure block. For this, I have the Better F3 mod. I don't know if basic F3 will give you that thing in the middle, but you essentially just want to be kind of eating up the whole thing over here. Just set it out anywhere, take that structure void, because this will turn into one automatically. And for this, you know what? I don't want to have to try to guess the size of this. So, the next step, what I'm doing in all this, I'm actually having to make a data pack to re-implement the NBT file. So I had to get VS Code, Visual Studio Code, not regular Visual Studio. This one lets you have all kinds of extensions that, you know, help you out all along the way. You're going to need jar viewer and decompiler right here. It may also be this jar viewer right here, but I'm pretty sure it's decompiler. Then there's another one, this NBT viewer. I think those are the two key ones, and then obviously OpenJDK, IntelliCode. I don't think you need the Gradle for this one. I don't think you need these, but essentially that's all we're doing. We're just decompiling these files and viewing the NBT for valuable information. So the way we do that, I'm going to come over here. This is my pack. We're going to go to File, Open File, since it's a jar file. I already have it loaded to my Minescary instance in the mods folder. You know, CurseForge, Minecraft instances, your instance, mod folder. Which one am I looking for? I'm going to search through all this. Quarter element mod. Just going to click that. Open. Now, with this, well, we open it with jar viewer and decompiler, not just regular open. I can X out of that now. We have it over here. I just drop down the Explorer, because this is essentially just a file explorer crash down into here for your viewing's sake. And then, as we can see, the actual jar itself, the meta-inf file, you don't need to mess with that. Assets, I don't need to mess with any of that. I'm not affecting any of that. It's data, horror element mod, and all this malarkey is what I'm messing with. Alright, coffee break. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to be working with, the meat and potatoes of the hard stuff, I guess. But for me, I already have this open. It's just a folder on my desktop I use for all my stuff for this Minescary test pack. It's basically my data pack. Pack.mcmeta is your generic name tag file that tells Minecraft, hey, this is a data pack. And data packs are pretty nice. If you're watching this, you don't know how they work. Basically, you create a file path with the file. As long as everything matches up and your changes that you implement make sense, and for the files and the file path match up, when Minecraft sees it in the mod, and you have a data pack with the things inside this data folder matching up what they do in your mods or in basic Minecraft, it will just replace it automatically with what's in here. So, I've heard the people I learned this stuff from say that data packs are the modern Minecraft mod. Although I have started to learn Java to maybe make that not so. But irregardless, what we're doing is this data folder and this data folder are matching. And I essentially, so starting there, let's make this easy on myself. So starting here, we open data, I have all these other ones. I need to add folder for element mod. Double check the spelling every single time, especially when it's somebody else's, because as for me, my folder is named Minecraft stuff, not Minecraft stuff. So if you ever happen to copy my stuff, watch out. But you go into horror element mod here. We go into horror element mod here. There's a few different things. You have to know what you're messing with. I'm not messing with biomes. I'm not really messing with loot. I'm adding a structure, and I know which one, because I already had to place it, and I already knew the name of it, which that's something I imagine you would already know if you're attempting to do this. If you get Visual Studio, you probably can already figure that out. World Gen is something I'm going to be messing with because I want to put this underground. I wouldn't have to add anything to the World Gen if I was just adding an NPC or changing something about the structure and then letting it go as is. But since I want to change the actual how it generates in the world, I do need to mess with all this. So I do need to make World Gen. Now World Gen is not his name, that's Minecraft's name. Minecraft looks in data, World Gen. It looks for this. Data is for Minecraft. Horror element mod is for the mod. For me, for you. Everything in here, forge, loot tables, structures, World Gen. Minecraft basically says data, name state, the other things Minecraft looks for. So structures and world gen are the two things I'm messing with. So those will be the same anytime. Like, that's how Minecraft looks for its structures and how to place them. So we go into world gen and we see even more folders. Now, configured feature, I know for a fact I don't have to mess with. That's because the horror element mod adds other things as well as the structure itself. Placed feature, I know I'm not messing with. Those are kind of specific. Those, of course, configured and placed feature, I believe, are Minecraft language. Those are more specific to the mod. I'm looking at structure, structure set, and template pool. Quite frankly, I forget which one is the file I need. I only need the one file. That's the beautiful thing about the data pack. I don't have to go through and remake every file along the way. I only need the one I'm messing with. Then I have to add my change, leave everything else exactly the same, and boom, it'll apply. So I know it's not structure set. That combines all your structures together and then is the final, okay, here's the structure. You already have the data from the other files, put it in the world like this. So I don't need that. It might be template pool I need. Actually, it's not template pool. This one's worded pretty intelligently. This is where you are pooling all your templates together. When you make one structure and you want to connect it or have it spawn with another structure, something like that, you put them all in a template pool so that they're all contained within one structure. It's a way to kind of make your multiple NBT files in one. That people use it for villages. That way, you know, all the different structures of your village are in this one template pool. And that's how you configure how they connect. So I know I don't need that one. Well, I don't know. So I'm looking in structure, I believe. And what we're going to be looking for is laboratory. So I'm going to need this. So where am I at? So world gen, structure. World gen, go over here, new folder, structure. That's spelled correctly. Yes, it is. And inside structure, new file, just a text document. And what's it called? Laboratory. Never feel like I'm worse at spelling than when I'm absolutely having to copy something. Unless you just make JSON. It's always felt like a cheat code to me. Like, if you ask me like a kid, how do you change a file type? You just, I don't know, delete the TXT and make it whatever else you want. That felt like it would have been the wrong answer, but turns out the world's simpler than you think. Alright, so with this, now, we're going to open this up. The problem is, well, actually, it's not a problem. It's going to open up a different software that you really don't need, but it's going to help me out staying separate. This software is the one I got for my more heavy coding ventures. I want to make a mod from the ground up with this. You know, this is the more intensive. Oddly enough, I don't believe I can do the NBT files. And you'll see why that's important. So basically, Control-C, Control-V, boom, there we go. Now, I've already measured it out. I want to take it down by 10. So it's a simple -10 to the start height absolute. Absolute, when I looked it up, it said that this is the absolute Y value that it will be spawning at. I don't believe that's true because this project start to height map saying world surface. So I think that instead, the absolute is more reflective of start height. Here's your absolute that your height map is trying to put you at. Here's the modifier to that absolute value. So in this sense, it should take it from where it was at ground level before and move it down into the ground 10 blocks. And that's what I want. I didn't have to mess with anything else. When I first started all this, I had basic Visual Studio with none of the add-ons and extensions that, told you what your incorrect syntax and this and that, your typos, missing apostrophe, commas, whatever. So I typed all this out by hand at first. That was rough. So getting all this stuff really helps. File, save all. But again, you don't need this software. I opened it up it. I'm going to go ahead and exit. So I've already copied that. I basically have that done. I don't even need to delete this one in here. It's just going to replace it because this is a mod and mine's a data pack. So we get out of that. We get out of that. Now we go to the actual NBT file, the raw Minecraft data. Now, if you have mods that add blocks, if you don't have the dependencies for those blocks, you're not going to see them inside this viewer. So, if everything's vanilla Minecraft, you'll be able to see it. However, you'll see things not be there. They'll be disappeared in whatever if you don't have the dependency. Like I have Quark, adds a lot of stuff, but I won't see that because I don't have Quark brought into a project with all this. That's way too much to do. So you kind of have to know what you're working with already. Oh, well. Alright, so I forgot an important step that I swear I didn't have to do, and I'm still questioning if I actually do have to do this. This workspace. Basically, I don't think I have to do this, but as far as I can see, I guess I have to. Where am I going here? Going here. Go to my mods. Scrolling down to 4-element mod. That's not what I wanted to do. Get out of here. Okay, get out of here. Yeah. I'm gonna do this. Open with 7-zip. Jar is just a glorified 7-zip file. Extract. Select our own thing. Minecraft stuff. Where is it at? Workspace. Okay. Okay. Alright, now we X out of that. Now we go back. So I extracted it to another folder. So we're going to open the folder in Minecraft stuff, in Workspace, just Workspace, select folder. Yes, I trust the author because I got it through CurseForge, so if something bad happens, we'll see. Anyway. Now, as long as there's not something else I'm mysteriously forgetting, there we go. Alright. So, as you can see, you just had to extract the file. I don't know why. Guess I just did that automatically last time. But this is what it originally looked like. But the helpful part about this, number one, if you were working with a structure that has a jigsaw piece, you get the exact information for the jigsaw piece from this viewer. I don't have one here. I probably could show you one, but maybe in another video. But this, as we can see, size 18, 8, and 40. So that thing I stopped doing a long time ago, I'm going to do 18, 8, 40. structure size. Done. And boom. It's not centered correctly. That's normal. Relative position. Do 2. Moves that way. Have to do another 2. 4. Alright, bumps it up there. But as you can see, mine's longer anyway and higher. So here's the trick. If I did kind of put this a bit too far back. Use this to 0. There we go. Use this to 4 as well. Now we're right up on the back of it. Right up there. See, now this is the part where I just start guessing. I just start throwing numbers out there. What's gonna happen? Somebody gonna sue me over it? I don't think they will. Got like 2 or 3 more blocks. We're gonna do 53. Done. Now we gotta go higher. I'm guessing, I don't know. Let's just do 18, add 10 blocks. What's the worst that could happen? As long as you set up your gel and your structure voids right, you should be able to get away with anything. So the key element here is that I don't necessarily need this area to be clear, right? I just need over here to be clear. So if I just throw down the red, come down here, right click, crouch right click, makes this big area. Normally I would do that, but I don't want all that area being counted as, you know, like, yeah, everything here and down is going to be fine, but do you want all that to have to be air? I don't. Gunpowder, right click. Easy stuff. So, what I'm doing, I could figure out how the other ones work. Come on now. Figuring out more stuff. Shape this. Delete them all. GEL. I like the color blue with this one. Alright. This is basically what I need. I really only need this bit exposed. Right? It's gotta be. Okay. Motherfucking. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so we learned our lesson. Replace air. See? We didn't even have to curse for that. We didn't have to curse at all, but we did anyway. Now, realistically, you want to be at least I hope. See, this way, you know, you have that bubble of like, hey, it's only going to be air here. So this won't be covered up. So, land goes down. If people know where it's at. Alright. And then, let me see. Now, in all honesty, I could do structure void for all this. So I think that's the best thing to do. So what we'll do, we're going to go here, fill, place air with, erase it all, struck, down to structure void. So me see. Go to the last structure void here. Since we're in the air, actually, this makes it hard. Okay, there we go. Had to do the shift crouching. That at the same time. It may be a good investment to figure out how to do that other thing. Alright. So hopefully should turn all this into structure void. Double check, base air, boom, structure void. Air is filled with it. Alright. Now, we should be ready to come down here to my save block. Include entities, I usually just hit on. So, you know, I'm always making stuff. Here's the other thing. Structure name. Horror elements. Mod. Laboratory. You want to match the name state exactly. Let me bring this back up for you. That match his name states of the mod. Minecraft will already look for everything that has to be named the same thing in these files. Minecraft will automatically assume when you're naming it in the game. So your core element mod, the colon, laboratory. So that's what we're doing here. So we come back here and hit save. One over here switches the mode. Save again. Alright. So now, it's time to test it out. So, save a quick game. The Minecraft main menu. Come here. No, we're not, I lied. I'm going to go here. Instances. Basically, this folder I'm in, click these three dots, open folder from your CurseForge. I don't know why I exited out of that. Then you're going to come down to saves. I guess I'm on New World 6. Am I? Now I'm looking for a folder called Generated. So it's New World 1, Generated, right here. Core Elements mod, that's the things you've generated in the game. Structures, Laboratory. Now in my Minecraft stuff, my test data pack, the pack itself, data, and I've already created a folder it's going to sit in. I'm going to move it over. Generated in the game, moving it over into there. Now this is my full data pack with all my stuff in it. So it's basically ready for me to just plug and chug into the structure, laboratory, structures, there we go. Okay. So yeah, this is copy. Boom. Get out of here. We're going to come back over here and go back to my, Minecraft instance folder. This is another mod I have very handy. It's called OpenLoader. Go to the config. This is how basically you force in resource packs and data packs. you really only want to do it like this if you know your data pack is set up. If you are like trying to type out the code yourself, or trying to do something that isn't just copy and pasting what you've seen like in a video or something like that that works for somebody else, that's just the way to have it put in. You want to do the in-game method, which I'll show you. But I'm just going to paste into place. That updates the test, or my working instance. So we're going to open this back up. Open this back up. I'm going to come over here, hit play. Hit play again. Now we're going to take a little too long to load in because I made a mod pack with way too many mods. So let me excited. Oh, but beyond that, I think we're going to be fine. I've already done this a few times, and I've already pulled out my hair with a lot of things. I watched a few videos on it, but ultimately there's a learning curve yourself with not naming files the same thing, but learning which files need to be named the same as the others, yada yada, little nitty gritty things. But as I've gotten into the development side of stuff, not really. I have not really been producing anything, but I've been starting to learn Java. I messed around a lot in IntelliJ, Gradle, and I got to wrap my head around a lot of that stuff. So maybe that was a good introduction, even though what I saw online kind of as I was doing it apparently is a rather difficult thing. I'm no expert at it, but I figure if I can wrap my head around what's going on in there, I can maybe at some point make a mod worth what is going on here. As we can see here, a bug I've never encountered has happened with my mod pack. We're going to go ahead and hit quit game. I don't know why I did that. I actually have no clue. I don't want to open that. See, this is a common thing that happens every now and again. You just sort of fully close out all that, I guess. See, if I mess something up, now I'm going to have to fix all this and go back and edit the video after doing something. Maybe it's because I opened the zip file. I know that another part, one of the things I was having a lot of issues with, I tried to write out a little bit of a script, and I used ChatGPT to help me learn kind of what I was writing out, and I wanted to kind of just be like, look, I want to see if this button will work. I wanted to add a button to a screen, and just getting Minecraft to launch in dev mode was so difficult, and what I ended up finding out, I basically had my hands full with so much that I shouldn't have even been having to deal with. So I learned a lot just to get to the same dead end I had started at, in a sense. But I've since more dedicated time to actually playing the pack and learning issues with it, because there's a lot to it. And I did put a good amount of time in seeing what's out there, but I need to actually go through and survival and play it. Watch me have this main issue again. Alright, something I did this doesn't like. Well, I'm stumped. Well, for the most part, I guess this has been a video on how to mostly do this. I guess I'm going to end it here. Well, as you can see, what I tried to do worked. He had some other things going on in here that I couldn't keep maintained. So I might keep working on that, but yeah, I guess it's part of working on anything. Brand new issue, just to make a new structure and all that. My main menu breaks, so now that's it. Play Minescary.